Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your host for today's episode. And today on the show, I have Ash Williamson, CEO of Showface, as my guest. We're going to be learning about his business, his journey to business ownership, best practices, and challenges that he's faced to give you that inside look to what it's like to build and operate a business. Welcome, Ash. It's so great to meet you. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Kay. Equally nice to meet you too. Looking forward to this.
Definitely. Well, before we dive into all things business, I'd love to hear a little bit about you. So, take us back, share a little bit about your backstory.
Well, I was born in England back in the mid 80s and spent about 10 years there as a young child, and then my mother's Irish, and so we moved to Ireland when I was 10. So that was a big change. Went, to the west of Ireland, and then stayed in the west of Ireland for about 10 years, and then from there kind of went to college in Dublin and was in and out of Dublin for another 10 years or so. I've been DJing since I was about 15, so I was kind of got into the events industry, just running my own shows, and putting on drum and bass nights in dingy clubs in Dublin city centre, and involved in other kind of more creative projects with other people as well. We were doing different venues at festivals as well, which was a big part of my kind of early days. And then traveled teaching English and just kind of exploring different parts of the world. Did that for a while, and then realized teaching really wasn't my thing. And you either have to be all in with that, or you kind of just feel like you're not kind of giving your best kind of version to your students. So ended up my dad is from New Jersey, so I had that in my back pocket where I could potentially become an American citizen. So at the ripe age of, I think I was late 20s somewhere, I think it could have been 27, 28, 29. I got my US citizenship in the US embassy in Dublin with a bunch of newborn babies and me and my parents, and had to go under oath and answer a bunch of questions to kind of get my US citizenship, and they approved it. And yeah, so I remember that day pretty well. I was like, oh, great, so I'm an American citizen now. And she was like, sir, as far as we're concerned, you've always been an American citizen. So I found that quite funny, and a very American thing to be hearing as soon as I became an American citizen. So yeah, following my journey, I moved to New Orleans just to pursue my love for music, and I'd seen the culture down there with the brass bands still running, and it's just something I really wanted to check out. So moved there and spent a couple of years and got into the AV industry, and worked as a freelance audio engineer and AV technician for a few years, and ended up setting up Showphase. So that's kind of the a quick synopsis of my life to starting the business.
Oh, that's very cool. We have a lot of parallels with especially with the music side of things. And so I'm excited to dive into Showphase. So tell me about Showphase. You mentioned AV. So do you do AV for like venues, big events, small events? Like kind of tell me about Showphase.
Yeah, so AV pretty much consists of corporate events, conferences, trade shows, broadcast productions, and also there's another side of it, which is the integrations, or also known as permanent installations.
Mm.
So you're pretty much using the same technology for the live event side of things, and then the install integration side of things. So basically, Showphase specializes in finding technicians to operate or install the various types of equipment, whether it's audio, video, lighting, and we also do a bunch of carpentry and set pieces and things like that. So we Showphase predominantly specializes in finding the right people for the job, and they're typically freelancers. Um, and yeah, so that's basically what we do.
Oh, very cool. So who would you say your ideal client was?
So ideally we're working with a lot of the big production companies in the kind of corporate side of things. We do some of the more rock and roll live event stuff here and there, but it's a little bit more saturated. It's kind of its separated thing. So we tend to work indoors, convention centers, hotels. Um, it's nice because there's air conditioning. But there's a bunch of different production companies scattered all around North America, primarily that we work with. Probably some of the names that people may know would be Freeman. Yeah, we've worked with various others over the years, but that would probably be the big name. They're a Fortune 500 company, and probably the best known production company in that sector.
Oh, wow. Incredible. I mean, events are such a huge part of like it just seems like events are everywhere now. So I'm sure that that's been amazing to kind of get into that. Now, looking at your business structure, are you the sole owner or do you have other partners or an executive team? What's that look like?
Our executive team is pretty much me and my wife. So, that's how this started out. We met through kind of Burning Man events, actually, which is something we attend every year. That's kind of our thing that we do together. Um, so Tiffany has a background in the wedding side of things, and of course the festival side of things. She's talented artist and an event planner as well. That was kind of mostly what brought us together was that shared love for the creative side of events. When we first met, we threw a party in her backyard, and I went from sound engineering three bands at the front of the property to DJing with a bunch of other DJs at the back of the property and lugging the speakers from one area to the next. And so she did all the decor and everything. So she's pretty well known in the Austin community for her artwork, and used to run a large scale Burning Man project for 3 years called the Black Rock Blind Tiger. And so she's respected in that Burning Man artist community as well. With we got we She burnt the project in 2018, but we the camp where these days is Kidsville, and there's a lot of longtime burners who when you mention her project, they're like, "Oh wait, what was that? Oh yeah, no, I definitely remember that. Oh, that was awesome, loved it." So, but yeah, it's pretty much her and I, run the core elements of the company, and then we have various other employees that help us get through all our daily tasks.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure if we checked our mutual friends, we've probably got quite a few in common. Uh,
Right.
so, that's really cool. So on outside of that, you and your wife running operations, how many employees do you currently have?
So we currently have three who are full-time salaried, getting the benefits and all of that. And then we have probably another three, five, depending what level we go at, who are not on salary but are kind of more or less permanently working with us, but just in a kind of case by case contractual basis. So we're relatively small for how much we put out, I would say. But yeah, that's how it is.
Oh, very cool. Well, yeah, I can imagine like the contractors because I'm sure project to project, it's like sometimes you need more if it's a larger project and sometimes less if it's just like something more like in like a conference center or something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
On some shows we'll end up having 100 plus, 120, 130 plus, contractors working for on our events.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty scalable. We could I like to describe ourselves as the big show specialists. We can pretty much handle any size event with the way we operate. We can scale pretty easily.
Definitely. And this reminds me too, because I used to be in AV. I was a contracted help for setup and tear down, like the big shows. And so I kind of get what you mean. You kind of bring in the team that's needed and you could scale up. I think we did like a giant Darius Rucker show on the road, like 24 hours on the job, but it was so cool. He came and shook everybody's hand, and it's just the industry's so cool. Like it's something when it calls you, it really calls you hard.
Right, for sure. It's definitely like no other out there, and it has to be kind of special for how hard the work can be as well. So it's unique in that respect.
Definitely. So now I kind of want to look at what you're gearing up for in the future of your company. Like, are you looking to scale, or well, like what's something you're kind of working on for the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, to answer that question, I'd have to look at the past 3 to 5 years, and so one thing that we've been developing is our own app. So we have a proprietary platform design specifically designed for our company that allows us to helps us schedule and helps our financials stay in line, and basically it helps us do more with less people. So yeah, it allows our contractors to clock their time, and then that time turns into financial data. So then they don't have to send invoices, which then means we don't have to wait for their invoices, and they get paid, 15 days after we send them their PO. And then that puts the control of kind of the financial side in our court. So then we can make sure that we're getting our clients their final invoices within 3 days of any event or production finishing. So
Hmm.
we've just rolled out the app. We've been using it since the turn of half since the turn of the second quarter. So this third
Hmm.
quarter, sorry, we've been using it, and it's basically cut our admin hours in half and made everything a lot more accurate. So the goal is moving forward is to, use this app as a springboard to continue our growth and continue providing services, but provide them to the best of our abilities, whilst relying on that technology without without just falling back on it, and it's there to help everybody in our company do better and be better, essentially. So I'm excited for the next 3 to 5 years, because now with this tool, I feel like that's setting us apart from our competition. Where not, I don't think any of our direct competition has their own app. I know one or two other companies have, but um, I think with our reputation and with how powerful this tool is, I think it really sets us up for the future.
Oh, okay. I've got a question. It's kind of off script, but have you thought about selling that app to other companies or, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely something in consideration. We are primarily a labor or crewing company, depending on the terminology. Like I prefer crewing company, but the industry prefers labor company, even though nobody's giving birth. So, um, but yeah, I have sought out from some advice from industry leaders, and that they've asked me the same questions that I've been asking myself: is do we want to shift from being a service provider to being a technology provider, and a software provider? So we're looking at some different ideas to to approach it, and it's while we're still fine tuning some of the elements. If we do have it as a product or a subscribable product, that'll be something that will happen next year. There'll be something we'll be looking to launch next year. Um, but I'm still sort of feeling it out. It's early days that we're using it, and but we've invested heavily in it, and for sure we want to make sure that we're making the right move, and it's definitely on the cards. But without being committed to anything just yet, we're still strategizing for the best way forward.
Definitely. Yeah, that's really interesting, especially as a added, opportunity. So, but yeah, kind
Yeah,
of
I
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think I I think probably the way we're looking to move forward with it is to almost give it away to clients that want to partner with us and trust us with their labor needs. So then they'll
Mm,
have a direct tool to work directly with us, and then we can stay doing what we're doing, attract more clients, attract better clients, and attract clients who want to stay with us for the long term. So
mhm.
that's the path I'm veering towards. But as I said, we're still fine tuning a few things and making sure it's ready for the market.
Oh, that's a really good, good middle ground to be able to, you know, also bring on more partners, grow, build opportunities. So, yeah, that's really cool. Looking at kind of what is, of course, when business owners, there's always challenges that we're faced with every single day, and that's what makes us so resilient. But also can be challenging. So I like to share some of these challenges to help other business owners who are listening to learn, grow, and uncover opportunities. So, what is something you're currently going through a challenge in your business?
I think the scaling and bringing in the right people, bringing in people that you can trust is huge. That's the challenge we're at right now, is making sure that if somebody gets sick, are we able to do we have enough people who are versatile enough to fill in where we need? So that's been the main thing, and then yeah, making sure that if you're gonna bring in people that represent you, that they really want to represent the brand, that they respect the brand, respect the opportunity that they've been given, and again want to be with you for the long haul, because it's tough when you gotta fill a pair of empty boots mid-season, and that's something we've had to do once or twice, and it's testament to our team who've always been able to step in even when we've been in the thick of it, and all of a sudden, hey, look, someone's decided that they got to go for whatever reason, and it's not personal, or it's not because they don't enjoy the role, it's maybe they just got something else that we can compete with, or whatever their reason for leaving. But I think that's the biggest challenge, is just me bringing in people that are going to meet your trust, and yeah, be there for the long haul. That's the biggest thing for us right now.
Definitely. Well, thank you for sharing that. And, looking at, this conversation has been amazing. And I want to dive into, it's called our rapid fire Q&As, where I ask you four questions and you answer very top of mind. So are you ready for some rapid fire?
Let's go.
All right. Question number one is, what is the key to success for you?
Relationships. I think your reputation is everything, and approaching everything with an ethical approach, and I think that is a testament to success. I think a lot of people burn bridges very easily, and that's not an approach I like to take. I think making sure that those relationships are again for the long haul, and your business will be okay when you treat people right, and people see that, and yeah, that everybody moves forward together, and becomes successful together.
I agree with you on that 100%, especially in the entertainment music industry. It's like having those allies, like I lead with kindness. Like that's so important. I love that you said that.
For sure, yeah.
Uh,
There's there's some interesting characters in this business for sure, and yeah. So. just, you sometimes you can end up trusting the wrong people, and
Mm.
that's one thing I've been kind of dealing with a little bit lately, is just, yeah, realizing that be careful who you trust sometimes, because they may be putting a dagger in your back before you know it. So it's just part of business, part of life.
Definitely. Number two is, what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Think that's probably the similar answer. Make sure you're treating people right, whether that's your clients, whether that's the people that work for you, or whether it's your contractors. I've seen a lot of our competitors kind of dropping the ball on one of those elements, and they tend to kind of be all about the client, right? Getting the client what they need. But, nobody's happy working for them, and they burn all these bridges. And then, there's only so many people in the industry. So they're going to struggle when they may not need everybody every given week, but when that big show comes around and you've burnt all those bridges because you didn't treat those people right, then that's when you're going to have those regrets that you didn't treat people better, basically.
That's very true too. Number three is, what is, it could be a book, a podcast, an article, just anything that you've read or taken in recently.
Oh, well, podcast wise, it's been great. I love that you can just dive into topics, and there's multiple different, sources out there. And going on long drives and just tuning into a topic and really delving into it. I From a reading perspective, I'm the type of guy that will read a page and then kind of be like, wait, my mind was in 15 different places, just because I got a lot going on. So the podcasts kind of, how it's become such its own industry almost, has been great for me, because it's my just a preferred kind of medium for learning. But if I had to choose a book, I'm currently digging into one by Tom Stimson right now, who's an industry leader. And it's about building better sales platforms. And so that's one I'm diving into right now.
That sounds like a good book, especially, yeah, sales is huge. We got one more question in the rapid fire. If you could wave a magic wand and improve one aspect of your business, what would it be?
Sales. Um, you know, I I like to think of myself as a pretty good salesperson, and it isn't. Sales is almost not the right word for it, but maybe like accounts development, right? I'm not really selling anything apart from services, so sales is kind of um, maybe not the correct term specifically, because we don't have a product. But yeah, that account kind of development, there's being a the the longer you're in business, the more things pop up at any given moment. You may have a plan to spend 4 or 5 hours a day making phone calls, and you know bringing in that new business. But when these 3 or 4 or 5 things pop into your inbox, or someone comes to you with a problem or whatever it is, that derails the thing that you need to do to continue that growth. So having a reliable sales or account development person on staff is definitely the next thing. And if I could have it tomorrow, I would. But
Oh, that's so true. Well, thank you for answering the rapid fire questions. And before we get to our final question of the day, how can folks get connected with you and your business online?
Showphaze.com. The phone number on the website will take you direct to my cell. I'm not about missing a phone call. So whether it's first thing in the morning or last thing at night, I am available. And yeah, we're driving our social media side of things as well. And um, that's another area where I've been looking at is, being more comfortable in front of the screen and putting myself out there more as well. So, but yeah, go to our website, or maybe you'll see me bopping around the social media sites soon enough.
Thank you for sharing that. And for our final question today, what is most inspiring to you today?
Well, it's got to be my youngest daughter. She is a she's special needs, and her attitude to just get on with life every single day is so inspiring. She's deaf. She wears jam jar glasses. She's currently wearing braces on her ankles, and it just doesn't phase her. And so she's she's what motivates me every day to get up and work for a better future for all of us. But yeah, she is my biggest inspiration for sure.
Aw, the resiliency kids have is so inspiring, and just how they just don't let anything hold them back. I think that's incredible. And again, thank you so much. This has been such a great conversation. Thanks for sharing your story with me today.
Likewise, thank you. Looking forward to connecting more on social media.